Okay, what do you do when the person you live with isn't as tidy as you are, or vice versa? Are you the messy one? Organizing expert Megan Arthurs is here with some tips to help you clean up and maybe save your relationship along the way. Megan, great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So full disclosure, I'm the messy one. I know people are shocked to find this out, but I am the messy one. My husband is a neat freak. Love you very dearly, Jay. So what do you do when you live with me? What do you do when the problem person...
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. How do you bring it up? Because it can be a big point of conflict.
Yes, you've got it. And it simply starts with having a courageous conversation. And I say courageous because it can take a certain level of bravery to have this discussion, even if it is your spouse, right? You want to bring it up and really have I statements. So you don't want to be saying, you're messy, you left the dishes out again. You want to be saying things like, I'm feeling affected by the state of the space. Maybe it's affecting my productivity or my focus. How can we work together to sort of resolve this, right? We don't want to be blaming. We don't want to be pointing fingers. The other person can feel attacked sometimes. We definitely want to have, you're like, yeah, I resonate. We want to have a safe space to share. So always saying how you feel and then having that conversation.
Yeah, you know what Jay said to me at one point, when I look at this space, I'm already so busy in my head. The space is just adding to that anxiety. And that was the cue for me. Hey, this is more than just about what I'm doing. This is about him.
Right, for sure. I resonate with that.
Yeah. So you say coming up with a cleaning plan is really helpful. What do you mean by that?
So a cleaning plan simply means what are the main priorities? What's the frequency and what are the tasks? So the tasks on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. And I highly encourage, this is something concrete, that you're actually using a calendar, a planner, a chart, maybe even an app on your phone, a shared app. When it's a verbal conversation like, oh, you'll handle the bathrooms on Mondays and I'll do the kitchen on Tuesdays, it's not gonna work, right? It has to be something that you can actually refer back to.
Well, and this is something that's helpful for if you're in a relationship or a partnership, or if you live with a roommate, or if you have kids, to have a visual chart that they can see what are their responsibilities and they can cross it off or whatever. That works for everybody.
Yeah, and it's so great for kids too. It gives them a sense of ownership of their space too, right? When they can give the check mark, like you did your chore.
So what do you do when the person who's on the other end of this bargain, when you've brought up all the things that you want to do, you've made the list, what if then they don't hold up their end of it?
They got to sleep outside. No,
kick them out.
There you go. No, it's back to that communication piece. So you don't want to hold back your feelings. You simply say, hey, I've noticed that some tasks aren't being fulfilled. Let's refer back to that cleaning calendar that we created. Maybe we have to reassess. It's really important, though, that you have compassion and that you're patient when you have this conversation. There could be external factors in the way. We don't know. And I'll say, Kelsey, I'm not against consequences. So,
like what kind of consequences?
Well, just having an open discussion, like what would work for both of us if one of us can't fulfill the task and there's really no external factors.
Right. Okay, so what do you do, or what advice do you have for people who are the cleaner in the house, who want the space to be clean? What advice do you have for them when the other person isn't holding up their end of the bargain? Should they just like go in and clean up the space?
Oh, I know, I'm so guilty of that. But no, I highly encourage against it. Everyone should take responsibility of their own belongings. You don't want to be touching other people's items in the house. It's an invasion of privacy without consent. I tend to look at the home like an ecosystem. It has to be balanced. There has to be fairness, transparency, communication. Everyone has to be responsible of their own items, know what to do, when to do it, so it's fair.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that advice because I will say, as the person who will leave stuff out, I always say my house is like a museum. Everything's on display. When someone else touches your stuff, you realize you see other people's mess way faster than you see your own. And so if my stuff gets moved, but their stuff stays, that can definitely build resentment.
Yes, it builds resentment, tension, relationship feuding. We want to avoid that. We want a calm sanctuary home.
We want it clean, both in the relationship and the space, people. Clean it up. Megan, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.